Hey fam, it's Lex. Different car, same guy. So listen, I was gonna write a really long post. I know I write long posts. They're not for everybody. Some people like them, some people don't. I'm gonna save you the reading and do a video instead, which I haven't been able to do quite as regularly. God, there are so many things I want to talk about. There are so many things. I'm going to do my best to keep us in 5 minutes. But what I want to talk about today is it is about 6, 7 days past the new year. A lot of people are setting resolutions, talking about goals, talking about blah, 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 all that stuff. I go back and forth about whether or not I think those are useful. I think more or less they are. I mean, anytime you set a goal for yourself or kind of work to put yourself in a new situation, I think it's helpful. I also think it's helpful when there's a lot of energy going on, which there always is around the new year. A lot of energy about making change and that. And when that's out in the atmosphere, can't do anything but help you. So last year, around February, I wrote a really long post, which is typical for me, talking about discipline and being able to discipline myself and what I felt like that means. If you want to go back and look for it, you can, or maybe I'll try and dig it up and repost it sometime around February last year. Talking about morning routines, evening routines, and committing to a new schedule. I did that. And for, sometimes I was good at it, sometimes I was bad at it, but a lot of those things stuck. I kept a lot of those things. I still follow the same evening schedule. I don't have to use an app. I don't have to follow it. It's ingrained now. I know what it is. I spent a lot of time last year looking over different ways of eating. I don't want to call them diets per se, but different ways of eating, looking at paleo diets, looking at high carb, low carb, no carb, this carb, that carb, whatever. A lot of different ways of eating. Spent a lot of time reading, thinking about, listening to, researching that kind of stuff. And I feel like I understand that stuff now. I feel like I really have a good sense of when I'm eating well, what works well for me, for my body, what helps me to get to the place that I want to be in terms of my fitness, in terms of my physique, and blah, blah, blah. Look, I don't have no six-pack, but I wasn't after that, so that's okay. I have a good sense of that. So this year, I don't have to focus on that. Now I know what it is. I can work towards that. I have a good sense of what works for me in terms of fitness because I spent a lot of time last year building that habit, building that discipline. I know what it means to exercise now, what works well for my body. I did that. Now I can bring those habits into this year and not have to spend a lot of time disciplining myself. The things that I didn't do as well were actually, oddly enough, around my spiritual practice. I suck at meditating. Sucked at it last year. Gonna try it again this year. Probably gonna suck at it because I don't like it that much. I know there are benefits. Just don't like it that much. But I'm gonna work on it. That's one that I'm doing for myself this year. Reading. I want to spend some time reading because there's so much information I want to know about, and I get upset with myself because I want to read, a whole book in a week, and of course that doesn't work. So increments, I'm going to build that in increments. Getting up early. I do get up early, generally get up around 6. I'm going to move that back to 5. I know that sounds crazy, but there's a reason. I want to be able to start my day off focused on the building blocks that I think I need to have a clear head and a focused mind. That's what I'm going to do. So, not going to talk about that as much right now, but I'm going to talk about that a little more probably in later posts around what my morning routine is and what my evening routine is and why those things are important to me. I'm not going to bore you with that now, but know that that exists. Okay, here's what I really want to talk about. I spent so much time. My 33rd birthday is coming up. I've been blessed with a lot of time being able to make it, have my basic needs met while spending a lot of time focused on what the hell am I going to do with my life? That's a technical term. What the hell am I doing with my life? What kind of man do I want to be? What are the things I believe in? What are the things I value? I talk about that so much. What my values are. What my beliefs are. So grateful. And now it's time for me to grow up. Let's keep it 100. It's time for me to grow up. It's time for me to plant my feet and make some decisions about how I am going to build something for my future, most specifically around my finances. How am I going to plant my feet and make sure that I'm taking care of and providing for my family? That is what I'm focused on this year. And you know what that means? It means I have to get over this bullshit angst, excuse my language, this bullshit angst I have about what's my calling, what's my life purpose, what am I passionate about? I know what that is. And I haven't been disciplined about following that. And I have to get over this ridiculous notion that we have that you have to follow your passion. Now look, if you follow your passion and that works for you, fantastic, have at it. I don't know that that's always the right advice. That's just the truth. I don't know that that's always true. I don't know that that's true for everybody. I think the people that get that opportunity are blessed beyond measure. That they get to do what they love and they make money doing it. I'm not saying you can't do that. But at some point, there are some real practical things that life requires of us. I'm in one of those spaces. I have some real practical needs. And I need to do something that both feels within my values, that I feel good about, that I can feel good about at the end of the day, that keeps me financially steady, that provides for my family, and that gives me the mental freedom to think about, dream about, listen to whatever I want to do. And I think I figured what that thing is. I'm going to focus on building that this year. Because the starving artist shit, excuse my language again, it's not that fun, man. It's not that fun. I mean, it's great to be a thinker, to be a dreamer, to be a creative, and for me, this might sound controversial, but for me, part of being a man means providing for my family. And this year, I'm going to focus on doing that. I don't know. Not asking for your feedback on that one. Just letting you know that's where I'm at. I've been transparent about everything else and want to be transparent about where I'm at now too. So, there you have it. There's Lex's New Year. And yeah, I'll talk... I always, of course, I'm sure I'll be more transparent, more forthcoming about my process, what my routines are, why they're important to me, how I got there, how I developed them, if you're interested. And if you're not, scroll on by. Okay. All right. As always, I love you and rooting for you, and Happy New Year. All right, fam.